to WCOM-FM 103.5, broadcasting live from Carborough, North Carolina, and streaming worldwide at WCOMFM.org. Hey, everybody, welcome to Martini Mondays, shaking it up with Ruby Martini and Magnolia Steele. Ruby Martini here.
And Magnolia Steele here.
Welcome, everyone. We are excited to invite you to our audio stage where we flirt with vintage and contemporary burlesque, ponder random points of interest, and have engaging conversation with our guests. Our guest this evening is Klein, and we will bring her on in just a few minutes. Magnolia, it is so good to lay eyes on you.
Ruby, it's wonderful to be here. I had to hustle to get here, and honestly, I thought I was going to be late.
Oh, no, Magnolia, do tell.
Well, Ruby, I was on my way here doing fine on time, and then off in the distance in front of me, there was a beautiful gold metallic Chevy Impala.
Ooh.
And it was chopped, and it was dropped. You know, Ruby, I could not figure out why anyone was slowing down, and they were passing that low ride, and I finally got up right behind it, and then I saw the bumper sticker. Senior driver, sitting low, driving slow. Thelma and Louise has got nothing on me. Now, did those people passing honestly think they were going to see a couple of wild golden girls in that golden ride? I have to tell you, Ruby, I did look. Yes, there was a car full of those ageless beauties whooping it up in that gorgeous Impala. Now, I thought about it, and that is what I want to, when I grow up, that's what I want to be. A wild golden girl in a golden low ride. Anyways, I made it on time.
Oh, gosh. My goodness, Magnolia, I am so relieved you made it on time and did not climb in with those wild beauties. Now, let's take a moment to honor our underwriters. Huge thanks to Double Martini Productions, your local nonprofit performing arts collaborative, with a big announcement. Their monthly fundraisers are back on the calendar. An afternoon of vaudeville art every second Saturday of the month. The next one is this Saturday, May the 9th. Artists of all skill levels are invited to come and draw live models and costumes. Just bring your drawing supplies, and there is plenty of room for easels. 100% of your donations support 2 local nonprofits. For details and to register, go to doublemartini.org and select Art Drawing Events.
Cat Moves Travel and Studio, delivering award-winning dance and fitness coaching and training to you at your location at your convenience. Meet every Tuesday for line dancing from 6 to 7 at 129 East King Street in Hillsborough. Find out more at catmoves.me. That's cat with a K. Moves, M-E. And then we have Perfect Timing Celebrations, providing traditional and contemporary officiate services with a budget-friendly rate to help keep your wedding and other vow renewals stress-free. Find them on Facebook. Search PT Celebrations.
And new on board is Sold by Amanda T. Amanda Turner is a realtor with eXp Realty, serving the triad, the triangle, and all points between. Her specialty is concierge-styled customized service tailored to her clients' needs. Check out her website, soldbyamandat.com.
All of our underwriters are linked to our Facebook page.
And you can find us on Facebook by searching at WCOMRuby. And you can become an underwriter of our broadcast. Hop on over to that Facebook page and send us a message.
Ooh, Ruby, that sounds like a good lead-in on our Back in Time burlesque segment.
Magnolia, let's do it. Our weekly segment of Back in Time burlesque teases a dancer or performer from the vintage era of burlesque. And today we are going to honor Lily Christine. She was born in December 1923 as Martha Teresa Pompender in Dunkirk, New York. Changing her name to Lily Christine, she did minor work in film, then became one of the most popular burlesque dancers in the late 40s. Her 125-pound, 5'6" body was fit, toned, and a lovely hourglass 37, 22, 35. Now, she was truly ahead of her time, incorporating exercise into her vegetarian lifestyle so she could stay fit and flexible. Lily Christine studied many styles of dance to incorporate her interpretation of belly dance into her burlesque performances.
Lily Christine created a routine that earned her the title the Cat Girl. She leaned into that description and choreography, her dancing to represent that cat-like movements, including purring and silkiness across the stage. Ooh. She never performed nude or even topless.
Lily Christine considered herself an interpretive dancer, an exotic dancer. She was the perfect example of putting on a good show wearing an abbreviated wardrobe and taking nothing off. Lily Christine performed primarily at Leon Prima's 500 Club in New Orleans. When men would ask her about her exotic style, she would respond, "I am a voodoo priestess."
Lily Christine left this earthly stage at the young age of 41 after a brief illness. We hope you will take a deep dive and learn more about Lily Christine and American burlesque.
And now it is time for Manifesting a Moment with Magnolia. And we have asked our guest, Kelly, to select an affirmation card to set the intention for our show today. All right, Magnolia, all you.
Yes, and read us what your card says.
All right. My card says, fear nothing.
So it says, fear is useless. Fear is the devil. It is the destroyer, the killer. You need to kill fear over, more accurately, nothing. Fear nothing and nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's not fear. Don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself. Or making mistakes, because it's not the end of the world. We just need to start over, and Lord knows we do know that, because we have made a few at the radio station.
Well, and not only that, you think about on stage, there's a lot of times when we have that little stage fright that tickles up a little bit, and then you have to just pull it together and take a deep breath and say, my brain is bigger than you.
So this was very timely for bringing me on the radio show. This definitely makes a lot of difference for today, I think.
I love
Fear
that.
nothing.
I
Let's go.
love it.
Yeah, because you had little butterflies.
Just a little bit.
A little butterflies.
Perfect. All right. Dear listeners, it is now time for us to introduce our guest, Kelly Klein. Kelly hails from central New Jersey, where she says, yes, that really does exist.
That's right.
And she has been an Orange County resident since 2013. She currently resides in Mebane. Kelly has a master's in hospitality and tourism. And in 2020, she made a path change from the hospitality industry into senior living. Surprisingly parallel industries where her skill and talents transferred seamlessly. Her focus has become very specific, and Kelly is now an advocate for loved ones who benefit from her Connected Compass network. Kelly is a boy mom, a dog mom, and a constant student of life. Our episode today is titled, Relax, I'm Here for You. Kelly, welcome to our audio stage.
Thank you so much. You're very, very kind.
Yay! And I want to just kind of back up a little bit a few years back and sort of begin at the beginning. In 2020, when you had that path change, tell us about where you were and how you ended up in the community that you now support and love.
Sure. Well, we all know back in 2020, things got a little bit dicey there. I was the last one from a sales department in a hotel that was furloughed. And, I took some time to myself to be a mom and to see what was happening. And then when it came time to get back out there and figure out what was next, I was taking all the interviews that I could. And I remember interviewing for a job selling flags or cleaning apartments or selling this or that. I walked into an independent living community and they said, why do you want to work with seniors? And I said, I'm not sure that I do. But, you just give life a whirl. And I found out that it spoke to me and it was a little bit of everything I was ever looking for. Just having conversations with people. It's such a crazy great way to be. And just by letting yourself be open to those things, that's how I wound up here, sitting with you.
I love that. I made sort of a little philosophical note here. Oh. I know I'm bad about this. So Ruby feels that sometimes a very gentle breeze lifts us up and lands us where we are supposed to be. One of those little sweet, pleasant journeys. Conversely, sometimes it is a rude, gusty storm that rolls in and tumbles us twisting in the wind to an unexpected starting point. And I just wondered if either of those descriptions resonated with your path change.
Oh, 100%. I really believe in that kismet karma and then the universe directing your pathway. So why did I want to do it? I'm not sure I did, but then all of a sudden all those little things fell into place. I thought of it a lot like Slumdog Millionaire, like that show, like, oh, now I know all the answers because of everything that led to here.
Right. And so what do you think happened that, or was there a pivotal moment where you realized you went home after work and went, this is it?
Oh, I think it was, after seeing people come back to life that you had a conversation with. Like, I'm actually not strong-arming anyone. I'm not a used car salesman. I have an approach that's being a person. You have people come to you in these moments where you say, I don't know what to do. And I say, well, if it was my parents, I wouldn't know what to do either. Yeah. But kind of going home and being like, wow, I met someone today that had this crazy life for 80 years, for 90 years, and I got to know a little bit about that, and I got to be this little tiny piece, and I got to sleep well at night, and I think that was really the big difference.
I love that. As you became more immersed in the difficulties, let's say, that a lot of seniors face, what are some of the key challenges that you find are most common with your clientele?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you've met one person, you've met one person, so everyone's unique. But while doing this for a number of years now, first in a community and then from that gaining that knowledge and experience of being around other people, you're like, oh, well, I've had a similar situation, so now I can kind of help. But then you learn something new every time. What was the question again?
the primary challenges.
Primary challenges, yes. Well, that's just it there. You squirrel off onto different moments. So I think everyone is like, where do I start? I think for me, it's putting myself in someone else's shoes and saying, wow, you're drinking out of the fire hose right now. We can do this. I also have aging parents that have, one has dementia. Everyone around me is getting older. We all are. I am too. So I think it's really just the misinformation that would be the biggest challenge I think a lot of clientele face is not knowing the rules, not knowing when and where to push or advocate for yourself. And I'm a big proponent of don't go online and don't do it yourself. Call someone, whether it's me or someone else who has that experience, because it takes a village.
And I do love the whole locality, like keep it where you can sit down face to face with someone and have those conversations instead of 1-800 talk to me.
Exactly. Right? There's a lot of people that do this for a living, and also there's just a lot of people we know from our different groups that we're in that have had family and they've been in these situations, and once you figure it out, you're like, oh, I have a secret, I'm going to tell you. Like, I want to help you in that situation so you're not where I was.
Yes.
Yeah, we know that you like to advocate for the best solution, and you can identify with your clients. How do you begin that process for the client who doesn't know what's available to them?
So I like to start by saying, And to be clear, what I do now is I help people navigate as a consultant for, whether or not they want a little bit more support in their home to maintain their independence, or if they're ready to transition into some kind of community living. So a lot of times you don't know which one you want. Maybe you're gung-ho and strong, I want to stay where I am. That's totally fine. I like to approach someone and say, it's a complimentary conversation. I'm not selling anything. I'm really not. I just want to talk with you and see. Let me get the picture. Let's start with backing up and getting the picture. How many people are involved? How do you feel about this with the actual person? A lot of times someone just doesn't want to be parented by their child.
Yeah.
So you get these little cliche little sayings, but they're all very true.
Yeah. Yes. What if somebody wants to age at home, but they really need to, they need home care? And I know that sometimes you have to come up with some creative solutions to offer them.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to give a one-stop shop answer because you have to really build that rapport with someone. And it's not trying to change their mind. It's really not. It's more about, hey, what's in the best interest for everyone? Or let's think of a moment when you were the adult child and you had to help your aging level. What did you do? How did that make you feel? So really just that might be one application for one person. And another one might be, hey, do you want to be back in the hospital in rehab in 2 weeks? Or do you think maybe we can take it easy for just a little while and get a little bit of help? So I think some people think accepting help is a weakness, or having help means you're going to have it forever, and it really doesn't. You can have it just for a tiny short period of time till you get recovered, or you could have it 24/7. It really just depends. So I think just that preconceived notion that what a nursing home looks like, and what having someone watching me 24/7 in my house looks like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fear. Oh, speaking of the whole fear gig.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That goes along with that. I just, remember when my mom was getting to the point where she finally said, I think it's time for us to go look, because the four of us kids had sweet, gentle, frank conversations with her. And she finally decided it was time to go.
So how old was your mother when that?
81. But sadly, she was closer to the end of her life than we knew, and she moved into a facility, an assisted facility or independent living facility, ending up really needing to be assisted because she had a heart issue that happened. They put her in a apartment that while she waited for her apartment to become ready. So they gave her this really big 3-bedroom for her to hang out in. And then she had a heart issue, went in for surgery, and then from there went into rehab and never left. We lost her there. So it was a hard decision for her to make. And I also had that experience. I know we talked about the death cafes and such. When the last conversation I had with her, she just wanted to go home. And I know now that is a very common thing that people say when they are having that dementia, experiencing like borderline or just beginning dementia.
And I am blessed that both of my parents are still living. I actually talked to my mother this morning. And she lives by herself, and she is very independent. Even though she does know her limitations. But again, I live 700 miles away from her.
Right.
And I do.
Yeah.
And I do try
I love independent women, of course. And so we know how difficult it is as we get older to just kind of take that breath and say, I think I don't need to drive anymore, or I need someone with me 24/7, or whatever that fill in the blank may be.
My mother knows that if she's going to do a family event that may end up in the nighttime hours, somebody needs to go pick her up and take her because she knows her limitations. But boy, that independent, strong-willed, we're all sitting here. We all know we are those people.
We are those people. That's right.
And we're the ones
that's why we're here.
Somebody will have to convince us.
Yes. That's so great that you're bringing that up, that whole strong, proud, independent woman kind of vibe, because that is something that we all run into, right? And, you are thinking about it kind of later on in life as well. just because you're strong and proud and independent doesn't mean we're not social creatures. So that's the big one, right?
Yeah.
The reason we make this move and change into community is because we are social creatures and we want to have someone around us, even if, we are be able to do everything on our own. That's that you don't use it, you lose it. So you ladies are miles ahead of everyone else, right? Because you're out there, you're having fun, and you're keeping active. That's the joy of life.
Well, my mother has a neighbor that comes down from upstairs, and they have Scrabble contests. I wouldn't want to play Scrabble with my mother. She's dangerous.
People won't play Scrabble with me anymore.
I can imagine they wouldn't.
We've got to get a Scrabble game together now.
I know. But I saw recently this little pocket game that's like a combination between Scrabble and a crossword. It's maybe 12 cubes, and you sort of toss them out, and whatever 12 you get.
Oh, is it like Boggle?
Yes, but it's tiny. It fits in a little. Look, everyone can see what I'm doing.
Everybody
it fits in a
sees her
tiny
hands,
little,
I'm
like
sure.
maybe a 3-inch circumference little thing you can slip in your pocket. So it's just like handy anywhere. Anyway, it's kind of cool.
An emergency thing.
An emergency. So I think let's do our first Martini melody.
Oh.
And after we play this, Kelly will give you an opportunity to tell us why you love this song so much. I love this one too.
So I
Here we go.
hope we can. I can't hear it.
I keep hearing you're concerned about my happiness, but all that thought you're giving me is conscience, I guess. If I were walking in your shoes, I wouldn't worry none. While you and your friends are worrying about me, I'm having lots of fun. Counting flowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. Last night I dressed in tails, pretended I was on the town. As long as I can dream, it's hard to slow the swinger down. So please don't give a thought to me, I'm really doing fine. You can always find me here and having quite a time. Counting flowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. It's good to see you, I must go, I know I look a fright. Anyway, my eyes are not accustomed to this light, and my shoes are not accustomed to this hard concrete. So I must go back to my room and make my day complete. Counting flowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do. Don't tell me I've nothing to do.
It's you, girl.
That's me now. All right, so that was Flowers on the Wall by the Statler Brothers. This one's always made me smile. It's a little quirky underneath it. It's really about finding your peace and your own rhythm. So that's a big thing for me, going through different seasons of life when things feel a little repetitive. Things might feel like you're just getting through the days, keeping busy, keeping distracted. Think kind of a little bit of what I've learned in those quieter, slower seasons, that they're not really wasted. They're just where you start to notice what needs to change.
Nice.
So yeah, it's that in-between space, not being stuck, not quite being free yet either. And that is why I like that song. And it's just a good beat.
And you can dance to it.
Yes.
The last thing you said about not quite stuck but not quite free, that's pretty powerful. That's a place a lot of people have been, and to really hear it, spoken, it really evokes a lot of situations that I'm sure each of us can go to and think of a time where you were just kind of like in that nether world of
where you
haven't gone to a new place, you're not at the old place.
And you don't feel as productive.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the big part.
It's the productivity and not just, I'm not even talking about work atmosphere, it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to do something, but you just, can't make it off the couch.
How many times have we cleaned the kitchen and then you turn around and you're like, what happened?
Oh, honey.
Where it was. It's futility.
Well, yeah, that dishwasher, you don't even have one of those.
No, I have 2 dishwashers, one at the end of each arm. The only time I've ever had a dishwasher, I had a small apartment in Carborough, and it was a sweet little garage apartment, had a dishwasher, and I used it to store my pots and pans. And I never once used it because I'd never gotten accustomed to having one. I remember when my parents bought a dishwasher, Daddy installed it and cut little parts out of the cabinet, yada, yada. And I was at an age where I would go to Mom and say, Mom, I miss washing dishes with you. Can we wash dishes? Aww. I know. So silly. Who'd have thunk it?
Not me. Because I'm going to tell you, I have pictures of my sister. And she's got to be, we lived on Buffett Road. So I was 7. So that means she was 3. Mm-hmm. I have a picture of her. She was 3. And she is inside the dishwasher.
Nice.
Sitting on the door.
Yeah.
Unloading, like taking a thing out and, handing it above. And it's so funny because, for numbers for everybody, my sister was born in 1968, which means that was 1971.
Yeah.
That's kind of early having a dishwasher in a house.
Yeah. Alrighty. So one of the things, Kelly, that you said to us is that you are a connected compass for adults who need guidance for care at home or supportive living arrangements. Tell us a little more about the younger adults that you service and what circumstances you can advocate for them.
Sure. So I love alliteration. So connected compass is one of those things that I just think is a fun word. But essentially, I think how I've gotten to where I am right now is really just by being open and having the conversation. I think that's curiosity and Kelly go hand in hand. Yes. So that's, just being open to saying, oh, what is it that you do? Not how can you help me, but what is it and how can I help you? I think that's how we all even got connected and things too.
This is true.
But then when you have all of those different people and you know who's around you, when you encounter someone who's having a crisis moment or they need something, oh, wow, let me connect you with this person. Let me connect you with this resource, because then we'll realize, you know what, we need more resources. Let's all kind of have that same question together. So that's a little bit on that. And then, so the company that I work for now, I love that I've been able to have this position because it is a women's owned company. There's a female that owns our franchise that I work out of, and we are the number 1 in the triad. Woo! 450 employees.
So tell me about that award. Tell me.
Yeah, so that was just a new one. You know how we are also the best place to work. But they did a big survey of different companies in the triad that are female owned. And we came out on top on the Business Journal, which was really exciting.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
that is.
That's very notable.
Especially with Mother's Day coming up and things like that. But we want to... what I do with my Connected Compass kind of style is we can help people that are 18 and older. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a senior. And I will let you know, I can't count on my 2 hands how many people I've met that are 90 plus that think everyone's older than them.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, age is just a number. So you could be in your 40s or 50s and feel like you're 3,000. So
some days we do.
Yes, exactly. So age is a number. As a younger person living alone, if I were to need a knee surgery replacement, I'm going to need some assistance.
Right.
So that's one way that I can help, or people who have special needs. So IDD, things like that. That is another avenue, and not just aging. It's also dementia is just a broad umbrella term. So there's different types of brain change that we can encounter. People with Parkinson's, people with different cognitive delays. You might just need a little bit more occupational type support or companionship, all the way through bedriddenness, and just kind of learning what all these different terms mean. I do like to say I'm not a doctor, but I can pretend to play one on TV sometimes too.
So I know that your network has expanded far beyond just the current place that you work. Being able to work with other groups outside of your immediate employment for solutions is an amazing service.
Yeah.
Share more about that network and how you add the community to.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's really, again, that Curious Kelly, being connected. I feel like, there was a short stint there where I did work for the nonprofit. I learned a lot about, community-based resources from that. I also acted as the president of a senior resources group. So kind of, it might just be like, oh, you think it's just the nursing home, you think it's just the senior living community, or it's the rehab or the hospital. Well, there's also companies that specialize in moving you or helping you consign your items. There's people that help with physical therapy. There's people that might help if you need a beauty stylist to come to your home, or a podiatrist. You don't know about trusts and estate planning. You have to kind of have one of each of these in your Rolodex. You need to know where you're going to go to get something. What do you call that?
Notarized.
Yes. That's
Absolutely.
right. Thank you for knowing.
Yes.
Knowing that hand signal.
Yes. And then it's also, again, the doctors that you go to, clinicians, they spend about, 20 minutes in an appointment with you. And then now you have this big diagnosis and they say, go get your affairs in order. So, well, what do I do first? It can be overwhelming.
Right.
So having that network and genuinely being like, if I'm not the right person for you, or if I know that's not in my wheelhouse, let me help you find someone that is, because then I know that I'll get the answer to that question too. Maybe I could help someone next time.
And that is how you expand your network,
Yes.
is by reaching out to people that aren't already there, that can't provide that one thing that your client needs. I feel like there's such a broad, this is a broad topic. We could probably talk for hours about the different things that you do, the different networking connections that you've made, and how they help a person that comes to you and says, Kelly, I'm just stuck. I don't know what to do first. I also feel like there's probably a lot of people who don't even know the right questions to ask yet.
For sure.
Because they've been sort of in their life bubble, and then suddenly that gets a little pop and you're out there having to make things happen, which we all know is coming, right?
Right.
Yeah, and we're all procrastinating about it.
Exactly. Right. They say that the day to start planning your discharge from a hospital is the day you get there. And not everyone has that mentality or the ability to. Yeah. You might hear some big fancy words one time, and then you'll say, oh, didn't they say that like last week? Oh, I don't know. I just didn't think about it yet. So trying to help keep those things in order, but also knowing that I can't do that for myself. I think that's the thing, right? Those who can't they teach. Right. So I think, because for the nature of this show, I think all these connections have also helped me personally, because being a social creature, hearing these intense stories, but having someone else to share that with that's important too.
I think that one of the things is, and it was during the shift when you changed in 2020, we realized just how, when you didn't have community, how strong how much we do need.
How much we rely on it.
We rely on it way more than what we even realized. And it was like for me, it was like a wake-up call.
Well, and, there's an analogy there, really, because if you think about in 2020, when we were actively on the stage in February of 2020 and then canceled everything after March, that really put us into a place where we realized how much we rely on the network, how much we rely on getting out and being with people, how much we rely on those connections. And so if someone comes along and suddenly has this diagnosis and they know that, oh, gosh, I need to find that community, I need to get that network going on, that's a whole brand new thing that has to happen.
And not only just, and I know this is going to sound... but when everything shut down, human connection and hugging. I mean, even now, we don't hug nearly as much as we used to.
Oh, that's a good point.
And we don't touch one another or touch each other's lives in the same way that we used to. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah, and again, there's the parallel, the analogy that, again, can apply to the clientele, Kelly, that you work with as far as just having been restricted at some point and now needing to be able to kind of let that curtain down and have a new social connection in that new senior facility where they're going. Because I know that with my mom, especially, when we were like, Mom, look at all the stuff that they do. And she feigned excitement over it because, she just wanted to stay home and be independent.
Right.
But still, as the next generation, you're looking at that going, wow, they do a lot of stuff here. There's like constantly activities going on and field trips and fun stuff.
I can't wait to just hang out at the senior center all day and do arts and crafts.
I know.
I'm going to be out there. It's going to be great.
Arts and crafts.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun. But the fear, too, the fear is a really big one, the fear of that unknown and what's going to be next. And, I think the fear of going to a support group and what does that mean? And I'm not a support group person. So I think that's my approach, is being a human, be like, okay, this might not be your cup of tea, but here's a few different options, and just trying to normalize it. Especially with my lady clientele that are a little older, you get asked these clinical questions by a doctor, and it's like, well, we're all ladies here, we can just talk about what it is that you need, and it's not just all clinical. It's, hey, do you want someone to come into your home that's a chatty Kathy, or do you want someone that's going to give you your space? You have a say in this. People fear that they're just going to be pushed into a decision, but,
Yeah, and so many family dynamics come into play as well, because you don't know what the scenario is that they've lived in for the past 20 years, for the past 20 days.
There's three children. One is always the son who can do no wrong. Then there's the one who's got all the bills ready and pavement, hitting the pavement hard. And then there's just that, that one that's out there lofty. So there's always those dynamics that happen.
I make a joke all the time. I'm a really good daughter who lives far away.
There you go.
I'm kind of the lone wolf of the four of us, and I'm perfectly placed because I can get to everyone within an hour or an hour.
But they're not all in the same place.
So, but they're within that structure. Now, one lives a little bit further north, but still, it's only another 40 minutes up the road. So those were our old stomping grounds when I was growing up. So where he lives doesn't feel like it's that much farther away from where we grew up. You know what I mean?
So I guess that would put me, if I'm the one that's far away, I'm the lone wolf.
By 700 miles, did you say?
Yeah. Well, and I was being nice, because 700 is still on the outskirts of town.
Right. Let's do our next Martini melody, Magnolia.
Okay.
I'm going to bring our
It's going to be a fun one.
Mics down.
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. You want me down on earth, but I am up in space. You're so damn hard to please. We gotta kill this switch. You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s chick. I love it. I love it. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your stuff into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. You're on a different road. I'm in the Milky Way. You want me down on Earth, but I am up in space. You're so damn hard to please. We gotta kill this switch. You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s chick. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it.
All right, Miss Kelly.
All right.
Tell us what you love about that song.
I do love it. That is I Love It by Iconopop. So this one is the total flip side of the last one. This is what it feels like when you finally stop overthinking, stop holding on to things that aren't right for you, and just decide to live your life. To me, it's messy, it's loud, it's a little chaotic, but it's also freedom. So it definitely represents choosing myself again, letting go of expectations, relationships, versions of life that didn't fit anymore, and being okay with not having it all perfectly figured out.
I love that very much. All right.
Goes hand in hand with this fear nothing manifestation.
You know,
too.
honestly, every time we do cards, they just hit the nail on the head every time.
And it's funny because the deck that you pulled from is not the normal deck. I forgot to cleanse the other ones and then didn't put them back in my bag. I love these, though,
Yeah.
because the name of these cards are Manifesting Greatness.
Oh, yeah. Can't argue with that. I like that a bunch. So, Miss Kelly, do tell us about any upcoming events that you have happening. Give us all the details.
Yeah, so we always have lots of different events that we're doing inside of different communities. A bigger one that's going to happen in June is at the Overture in Chapel Hill, which is the 55 and up community. On June 12th, we are hosting a talk, and that talk is going to be from Dr. Shaw. So it's a brain health workshop. So he talks all about his different pathway to how we can have our best, healthiest brain to prevent Alzheimer's. This one is going to be focused on the night shift, which is something that I'm excited to hear about because I know I don't get enough sleep. I'm not sure what he's going to share with us on how we can fix that, but that would be exciting to hear for me.
Wow.
And then the other big thing is that right now, Always Best Care, we have a bourbon raffle happening. So it is our 5th annual bourbon raffle, and all of the proceeds go to benefit the Alzheimer's Association. So for right now, if you wanted to check out on our website, the Always Best Care one, you can see a link on how you can purchase tickets. It's a great lineup of bourbon from what I've been told.
Oh,
and
nice.
then the names will be drawn this August. And again, all proceeds will go to Alzheimer's Association, and our goal is $10,000. And we've been up and running for just a few weeks, and we're on track. So we're very excited, and we love all that.
We love our local nonprofits. That's
Yes,
for sure. So remind us again where in Chapel Hill the 55 plus community is. What is the name of it?
It's called Overture Chapel Hill. So Overture 55 and up. It's across from Nantucket Grill.
Yummy.
Farmington Road.
Yeah. You can go get a lobster roll.
Oh, yes.
A lobster roll.
Yes, a lobster roll.
I can't do that accent.
Lobster.
Lobster.
Oh, my goodness. Okie dokie. So, advanced planning versus urgency events. So I know that you have a lot of experience in both of those sort of contrasts. Share with us how both of those fit into the services that you offer.
Yeah. So that's a great question. With advanced planning, so I think that I do encounter a lot more people that are in crisis mode. I will say that. Crisis mode is probably my number one situation. However, that's not to say that I don't do that advanced planning. So going to communities well before you think you're ready, sometimes you find out that you probably are ready sooner than you were thinking. But don't be afraid to say, well, I'm not ready yet. Like, no, that's fine. We can still start the conversation. That is not a problem. I'd rather have that information now so you can see. Then you have that time. If you are someone who needs to process these things in real time, it's better to just start looking before you even need it, just to see if you're curious. But with crisis mode, I tend to kind of, say, hey, I'm going to take charge unless you want to lead the brigade and tell me how you'd like for me to roll. Yeah. But there's so many different things that you're not thinking about, paperwork and rules and all of this. I'm not an official counselor. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a clinical background. But I am a human being, and I know when I see that look on different people's faces, like, am I making the right decision? Is this too fast? I wish I had just another day or two to sleep on it. I say, that is completely in your power. That is your choice. However, we can only do the best we can with the information we have at that time, right? I can let you know my thoughts and feelings, but at the end of the day, I will never vouch 120% for anyone. There's good experiences and bad. But if you make the choice today, we can just keep advocating, and the only constant is change. That's a big one.
That is true.
And there's some of us who don't like it.
That is true. I'm guessing you may have clients who they move from their big home into a smaller community, and then eventually end up needing to have assisted, etc. So I'm guessing you can hold their hands through those different levels of care.
There's going to be some people that say, I just want to move one time and then that's it. And I said, okay. So we have different options like that where you can go to one place and keep adding on care. Or some people, hey, I'm going to go and enjoy my best life in this new place until I can't anymore, and then I'm going to move to the next step. Both are valid. Both are different. Because you don't honestly know. It's like gambling. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow to any of us. So again, making that best decision. But yeah, we can definitely hold hands throughout that process. And then, you might call the next day and say, hey, I just thought of this, and now I need, someone who specializes in dog walking at a community, or I need someone who can help me sell my antique spoons. You don't know what you're going to come across.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. That's...
Yeah. The antique spoons are very generationally appreciated.
If that's the one thing your mom said she can't leave the house without taking care of, then that's the top priority.
Oh, she just did the finger thing.
Yep, that's right. Tappity tap.
If that's the one thing we need to overcome, then let's hone in on it. And
my mother would be giraffes.
Yes, giraffes. There you go. See,
giraffes.
To each their own. You don't know till you ask.
We were not allowed to give her any more giraffes.
She put a moratorium on them. Yes. I had to do that with wall art. Like I have no more room to hang anything on these walls at all. So no more wall hanging things. Can't do it.
You still have windows.
Yeah, the windows are filled with stained glass.
I know, we can add more stained glass.
Yes, there is room for more glass. There's always room for glass.
A creative solution. We take photos of everything, and now we have a photo collage of all of our giraffes or art. Just downsize into a little area.
And that's hard to do, I'm sure, for a lot of people to even get their head around what it takes to downsize. It's not just going to smaller square footage.
Right.
It's bringing less stuff into that square footage.
Also mentally,
that's honey, I was there. I was like,
not driving a car, it's mentally, not paying your bills every day and just having one bill. It's letting go of these things. I find that a lot with spouses. When one of them passes, then the other one's like, well, what do I do now? I used to just be the person to drive them to all the doctor's appointments, and I did this. Now you have to live for yourself, and it's a big mental downsizing.
Well, and the shift of responsibilities, because the person who's passed may have been the one who walked the dog,
Right.
And then now the one that's left now has to walk the dog, and
And may or may not be able to walk
the dog.
Yeah.
And so those kind of things.
Now, I imagine that because of the different variety of situations that you have, that your job never gets boring. Like,
That's very true.
yeah, because the variety of different options that could fall into place for each person. One person may need 14 things and 3 other people may only need 2. So you're able to kind of, your day to day, although it is blanket coverage, is individually woven.
Yes, I have lots of freedom with that, but I'll say it's hard sometimes to not think, oh, this is just another one of these, or this is another one of those. I think you really have to have that kind of passion for it, where every day you say, oh, it's a new day, and what are we going to figure out today? And keeping it fresh and things.
Yeah. I can see where that would be super important. One of the things that you quoted is, you can only do what you can with the information you have at the time. Hindsight is always 20/20, but we have to keep moving forward and doing what we feel is best in that situation. You then went on to say, if you could take your own advice, ... So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I had switched where I did say that. That is a big one for me, just in personal life and things too. I mean, we all have our own journeys, you know. I've definitely been a seasoned person. I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been a mom, I've been on my own, I've been with others, you know, and through each one of those seasons, you want to be able to take your own advice, like, okay, I've did the best I could in this moment, but I know that there's something around the corner, and I'm ready. You have to just be ready for that next conversation and see where it takes you.
Yep, this is the truth. So, boy mom and dog mom, is there anything you would like to share about being a boy mom and a dog mom?
Oh, yes. I love my 2 boys, Noah and Silas. They definitely have a big age gap, but they're both, you know, just so unique. And it's such a great experience to be able to be a human and to be a mom and to see them grow up. And you say, oh, every once in a while they catch you off guard and you're like, oh, they got that from me. That's interesting.
It's a hip, hip, hooray, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that it's about time for us to wrap up this episode. Has flown by.
Moves so fast.
That was so fun.
Fast.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my gosh.
It almost
All right.
moves so fast.
So we have a couple of announcements before we completely wrap the episode. Saturday, September the 19th. I know it feels like forever from now, but it'll be here before we know it.
I know.
That we are reaching out to our talented community to recruit about 10 volunteers to perform at our inaugural gala fundraising event. This fundraiser will benefit 3 nonprofits: Double Martini Productions, that's us; WCOM-FM, that's where we are; and Snow Approach Foundation, where the event will take place. And we're putting out a call for volunteer performers to come join us on our so-called stage. It's going to be more vignette performances, singers, dancers, comics.
What comics? What are you doing? I don't know. Am I supposed to say something? Oh, yeah. Singers, dancers. I didn't even see. My name's in red, guys. Comics. She kept on reading, and then I got lost. Specialty performers like baton twirlers, hoopers, magicians, mathematicians. If you are in the crowd pleasers, belly dancers, and other feats of all those feats.
Fascination.
Well, you just kept on reading, and I did, because this is the vignette part.
This was the first time that we had split up the
this is
the
new.
talky talk.
Well,
alrighty. So our goal is to have enough volunteers to perform vignettes throughout the evening for our guests as we raise funds to support our nonprofit endeavors, gain underwriters for our show and WCOM, and inspire the community with our missions.
if you are interested in performing on our stage or being involved in our fundraiser, please email us at WCOMRuby@gmail.com. And yes, it's written on the sheet of paper like last week.
That's right. And also, we are very excited to announce Martini Mondays, the hangover with Ruby Martini.
Magnolia Steele.
You guys, beginning on Monday, June 1st, we are adding a second hour of shenanigans each Monday after we shake it up. Starting at the 6 o'clock hour, it is a hangout plus a stay over, the perfect combination for a hangover. Our 5 o'clock guests will have an opportunity to hang over with us and continue our conversations after we wrap their Martini Mondays Shaking It Up episode. We will include playlists from our guests as well as curating some of our own. Magnolia is going to share her ever-loving story-shortening segment, which I'm super excited to see how that works.
I know. We may do it in parts.
Right. Segments.
Yes. And next week we will say.
Tune in next week with your decoder ring.
Yes.
And I will have some commentary about this, that, and the other, whatever we rolls. Anyway, through the month of May, we're just going to kind of curate a little bit as we go. We're not really sure yet about our content in June, but we'll get there. That we do want to invite you to hang over with us. And also, if you have an idea of what you would like for us to include in our hangovers, you can email us at
WCOMRuby@gmail.com.
Yes, and we are soft launching for a few weeks this month before we have our premiere broadcast on June 1st. So stay tuned about staying tuned. All right. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in and supporting us. Thank you, Kelly. We appreciate you so much for giving us episode 18. Relax. I am here for you. Magnolia, as always, thank you for being my very favorite shenanigans partner in crime. Thank you, WCOM, and big thanks to our underwriters. If you would like to become an underwriter for our show or for WCOM's general operations, email us
WCOMRuby@gmail.com.
All right, all you shakers, join us next week, Monday, the 11th of May, when we welcome Nina Della Vecchia. Nina is a women's coach and a Reiki master. We are looking forward to learning from Nina more about her support for women's emotional health and more. See you next week. And until then, all you shakers, keep on shaking.
Ah.